Hello everyone, and now welcome to a final game in this best of three. Really good game so far, not being able to tell who was going to win until the very end. And that is what I really want to see from a WarCraft 3 game. Back and forth action, countering to that countering, and then ultimately one decision that can make or break your day. That's what we saw as the pace of the game does start to pick up. Now, we are at the 2-minute mark now. It is going to be a Death Knight versus, I would guess, a Mountain King at this point. Yes, a Mountain King here on Turtle Rock. WFZ spawning at the 11 o'clock location. Meanwhile, Yumiko all the way on the other side of the map at the 5 o'clock position as he quickly goes after this Ogre Mauler creep camp. All right, Death Knight coming in over here notices that there wasn't a militia check, so he's gonna scout out to this corner, and that is a bit of a gutsy move there. Mountain King already sitting with a Ring of Protection +2. The Forest Troll may come in and gets the steal as the militia are now gonna try and come for us around, and gosh, he makes it out. The peasant doesn't stand at the right place at the right time, and the Death Knight escapes. Death Knight now making its way, perhaps trying to get some easy kills on some of those peasants as they're walking all the way back. As the Mountain King is going to be able to just shoo them back as well. All right, no Arcane Tower as well. Spoke too soon. Arcane Tower about to be completed, so those skeletal minions are not going to be doing very much harassment or anything else. They'll do a quick scout of the base and then decide to back off. Now, what is the follow-up plan? Mountain King does not have nearly as many options for anti-air on this map as the previous one. No Lizard, no Troll Berserker, and because of that opening with that Mountain King, he's not going to have water elementals. Now, the big question is going to be, if we do see gargoyles, that would be the third repeat of the same strategy again. It is a rather fast tech to tier 2, but we still don't see a second crypt yet, so it is still all up in the air. All right, 538 gold though. That is starting to look a bit suspicious, as we're now going to have the Mountain King perhaps try and get to level 2 off of a creep camp somewhere. All right. Halls of the Dead about 2/3 of the way done. Still waiting for what the tier 2 strategy is going to be, as some skeletal minions now falling, and the Mountain King may try. There is the wake up on the creep. Acolyte going to get taken down. No Acolyte getting taken down, but we do have Defend on the Footman to help reflect some of that damage back. Death Knight on the other side of the map going to be doing some creeping of his own. And this is where the rubber is going to meet the road in terms of who's going to be more effective. All right, Scourge Bone Chimes going to help keep those militia up just a little bit. Being able to heal 1 to 2 damage per swipe is always very helpful, as the Ogre Warrior now getting taken down there. Are we going to see perhaps a Town Hall with Scout Towers? Yes, we are going to be looking at exactly that. And we are at Halls of the Dead. We are going into the Crypt Fiends, so it is not going to be what we were seeing in the previous games with those gargoyles. Now, does that mean it's going to be a slaughterhouse with obsidian statues, or are we going to actually look at an older strategy with a tier 2 push with a whole bunch of meat wagons? That could completely catch the opponent off guard, but you do have to be careful where you attack, as if you try to attack the main base, the militia can easily catch up to to that meat wagon, get us around, and take it down. All right, let's take a look back over here. Yumiko down to 140 gold. He is speed building this town hall. It is now done. One guard tower will be up here, and now he needs to set up an arcane tower to try and protect this base and this investment. Meanwhile, Mountain King sitting at level 3, perhaps wondering if he can do any serious harassment by his lonesome self. That Mountain King does have a 225 Stormbolt, which does instantly take out an Acolyte here, so that could set him back. All right, there is that Mountain King. He's looking for some easy targets. There is a ghoul, and that ghoul quickly gets taken down, down to 188 hit points. Mountain King now making its way closer and closer, going after the Acolytes here. We should be looking at another Stormbolt here in just a moment. There's a timely bash. There goes one as the Acolyte now rushing around the far side. It could just jump back over there and then begin mining again. All right. Still looking at that. There's another Stormbolt. There goes another Acolyte. New Acolyte could be brought over. And that's exactly what happens, as there was already enough Acolytes to replace the ones that were downed. All right. Mountain King waiting for Clarity Potion and a Healing Salve, or, well, Scroll of Regeneration. Going to be using exactly that here in just a moment. Where are those footmen, though? The footmen now hiding off to the north, perhaps knowing that the Death Knight is nearby. That is scary. A whole bunch of low hit point footmen very, very far away from that Mountain King, as we are now doing a tech to tier 2 here, just in case we do see meat wagons come in from the main build, or from that slaughterhouse. All right. Cloak of Shadows on the Death Knight. Death Knight now revealed, as we're looking at the Arcane Vault. No repairs on that Arcane Vault as of yet, but I guess it is just buying time as the group of footmen end up finding the Mountain King in midfield and is now going to be healing. This is a bit of a concern. Yumiko may think that he's at the most opportune position, dealing a lot of damage, but little does he know that his opponent's entire army is getting back up to full strength, just just a hop, skip, and a jump away from his starting location. Excuse me. All right. Slippers of Agility now drop. Mountain King picking up some additional items here. You're going to take a look at the Mountain King using another Scroll of Regeneration here in just a second. I gotta believe. Come on, use it. No, that low hit point footman just going to head back home instead. Meanwhile, we are looking at the Gargantuan Sea Turtles being pulled away, as we are now going into a Blacksmith. All right, Blacksmith going to be a rather easy target. There are plenty of guard towers here, though, as the guard towers are going to be focusing down at the Death Knight. Are we going to be looking into a big push? It looks like the footmen are going straight inside the base now with the fend up. They are going to be doing a good bit of damage onto all of these poor Acolytes who are trying to get away. Meanwhile, you can see at the natural expansion, Yumiko is pretty much letting this fall. I don't know. It really depends on whether or not WFZ loses any Acolytes here. If a lot of Acolytes are lost and a lot of units are lost here, then yes, Yumiko will come out ahead, as you'd rather trade an expansion for a main base if you have it. However, the Death Knight and the Lich are now getting plenty of experience, as the militia are just being led like lambs to the slaughter. Sacrificial lambs here, constantly getting taken down, and the experience gain is going to start to become a big problem. Keep now upgraded here. You can do a call to arms if you need to, as the Mountain King is still looking to take down more units, and I think Yumiko really overstayed his welcome here. You can see how many Acolytes there were. No real chance that this was ever going to fall here, as now you can see what the Mountain King... Oh, Scroll of Town Portal down over here. All right, Scroll of Town Portal down over here. You can see a whole bunch of guard towers or scout towers not being upgraded, as a handful of guard towers are all that are left at the natural expansion. All right, this is not looking good. It looks like Yumiko was going to end up trading his expansion for pretty much nothing, as we now see a Stormbolt onto the Lich. Lich not going to get surrounded and focused down, instead going after a Crypt Fiend instead. The Death Knight not going to save it, as we see more and more units coming back over here. The footmen do have defend, and if the footmen can... Oh, going after now an Obsidian Statue. The Obsidian Statue not going to fall, though, as no real way to Stormbolt it. The footmen with defend, more than a match for those Crypt Fiends. And I think that's the one thing going for Yumiko. The fact that his opponent is a majority of his army is Crypt Fiends. Meanwhile, the footmen do have defend. All right. However, Black Citadel nearing around the corner. Slaughterhouse could be producing destroyers in just a moment. And once those destroyers are out on the field, those footmen are not going to be worth their weight in gold. You can see... I actually just butchered that analogy. Anyways, you can see that the footmen are clearing out this creep camp here. We don't see a second hero as of yet, and it really feels like WFZ is gonna just come back stronger than ever, and Yumiko is not going to have the proper counter. The timing on this is going to be all wrong. If we have, yes, an additional obsidian statue, if we can get another one, that means we can have 2 obsidian statues and 2 full mana destroyers out on the field right as that tech is completed. And on the other side of the map. All right, are we gonna perhaps see destroyers, or yeah, we could see another obsidian statue being trained, or it could just be 2 with 1 obsidian statue. We'll just have to wait and see how this is all gonna unfold here. Mountain King still has enough gas in the tank to take down the ground units, but I don't know if it has enough gas in the tank to take down those air units. Beautiful Death Coil at the right time, saving that low hit point Crypt Fiend. Obsidian statues doing a great job keeping all the mana and hit points up for all of the units here. And as long as those guard towers are not focus firing onto any specific unit, they will continue to have a great success as the obsidian statues is negating much of that damage already. Death Knight gets a Death Coil off, kills another footman. And yeah, I think the timing is just going to be absolutely right on. Once that destroyer form is done, I think that game is pretty much going to be over unless a surge of riflemen come out onto the field ready to take the charge against what will be an army of, or what will be a good number of destroyers too in just a moment. All right, putting pressure onto the vault. Yumiko going to lose this vault here, and that is going to still hurt just a bit more. Mountain King almost at level 5 and still unable to really do anything about the tech advantage that we're looking at from the Death Knight. All right, another beautiful Death Coil here. The Death Knight not dropping in mana at all with the help of those obsidian statues there. The destroyers are now up. 1 destroyer up in the air as we now see a Death Coil come in and save it again. All right, give me 1 second. All right, never mind. I am just going to continue to cast over that. As we now see the destroyers come in. Hold on. All right, coming back over. Death Knight now clearing out all the guard towers here. Going to be able to really gain this advantage. And I think this is pretty much going to be the end of it. The 3 destroyers that I mentioned, the burrowing Crypt Fiends, however, Dust of Appearance, a beautiful call by Yumiko, saving now level 5 on the Mountain King. All right, so Death Knight now may be in a little bit of trouble. He is surrounded, and the Death Knight is down to about 975 hit points, but I believe he has Death Pack. That is the reason why he's been able to keep his life up. Lich, stunned, gains a level, and uses a potion of healing. Wow, talk about being perfect. Gaining a level to avoid death, and then using the potion of healing, and then getting transferred. Getting transferred a Scroll of Town Portal to be saved. That sequence of events was, wow. I don't know how else to describe that. Just being on top of everything at the same time. 54 over 60 compared to now 25 over 60. And that fight really could have gone another way. All right, Obsidian Statue now out. Death Knight gonna go ahead and try and clear out this creep camp. Oh, there's an ensnare on the Destroyer. Luckily for him, he is not taking any serious damage whatsoever. Death Knight at level 4, Lich at level 4, both of them may go up in level even further. The Mountain King is looking for perhaps an easy target to Stormbolt down, but that is just not going to be the case here, as the Mountain King loses his Clarity Potion off of a Destroyer who got in a free hit there. All right, it looks like the army is ready to go once more. Mountain King in a really dangerous spot there, being forced to pull back. That -5 armor really shutting down much of the durability built into the hero there, as we see a Stormbolt onto the Death Knight. Death Knight in a bit of trouble. Is he going to be able to get out? Does he have a Death Pack? That's going to be the... yes, he does have Death Pack. That is how he's able to heal himself. Potion of Lesser Invulnerability now transferred to the Death Knight. Death Knight still looking very strong. And I have not seen Death Pack used so effectively in quite some time. I gotta say, about 2.5 to 3 years since I've seen that, and this is why WFZ is still at the top of his game here, and this has been an amazing game, just showing why WFZ is such a dominant player. Those destroyers now focusing on the guard towers. It should be an easy takedown. Stormbolt, however, a beautiful death coil saving it again. The destroyers need to focus down. There goes one more guard tower, and now with the distance on these guard towers in the back, the destroyers shouldn't have any problem really trying to take it down. Two obsidian statues in the back, making pretty much short work of everything. There's a Stormbolt, however, and now the Death Knight might be in a little bit of trouble. May need to back off here. Does have, or could get a Frost Armor again. Wow, could get Frost Armor again as the Death Knight is getting healed up by these obsidian statues. Alright, the Death Knight at level 5. Lich should be very close to level 5 as well. Getting those Orb of Corruption shots onto those poor peasants. And all that Lich has to do is just hold position right there. He's getting mana, he's getting hit points, and I believe, yes, one guard tower doing a little bit of damage to him, but not much to write home about, as we see a Blood Mage, beautiful banish Stormbolt to take down a Crypt Fiend. Alright, if the Blood Mage, if that continues to happen and the Blood Mage can get to level 2, all of a sudden Siphon mana is on the table. Oh, a beautiful Devour magic to remove the that banish at a perfect time. Are we going to see that again? There's a Stormbolt taking down another Crypt Fiend. And this has been a game of just microseconds. I could have swore I saw the Stormbolt hitting that Crypt Fiend, and right as the stun appeared, the Devour magic had went off, and the Crypt Fiend was still alive. Beautiful play right there, as we are now looking at the Death Knight finishing off some of these units here. The Death Knight doing a great job absorbing a good bit of damage here, now being forced to pull back. That Death Knight probably with level 3 Death Coil, level 1 Death Pack, and this expansion is going down. Yumiko played a great game, great micro, great transitions, but just does not have the units and poor tech choice to deal with these destroyers. You need flying machines, you need riflemen, you need siege engines, something to really deal with these destroyers if you end up going the route of the Mountain King, and we just didn't see that. The destroyers ending up haunting the Mountain King and that Blood Mage. There is a... once again, you saw that Devour magic again, able to save it. The Mountain King can't even get a jump onto the Crypt Fiend here. He may try for it one more time, and nope, unable to get the Stormbolt off. There's the Devour magic again, ends up saving it, and I believe the GG is going to be coming in. WFZ taking this best of 3 series. Game 3, a real just nail biter up until the very end. Some brilliant plays, keeping WFZ in the front. Make sure to like this game if you guys like it. If you guys found it as entertaining as I did, definitely give it a thumbs up. And if I get enough thumbs up, I will definitely add the must watch onto this one. I don't think it gets much better than that in a human versus undead matchup. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed it.